Hi, welcome back. So here's something interesting. It's a lovely little Spectrum Plus, and yeah, it was part of a project, and an abandoned project. So I can't remember exactly what was going on, but the description was that it was going to be upgraded. It was going to be fixed. There was a problem with the membrane, and it needed to be recapped and all sorts of stuff. So it came with a power supply and an RF lead. Also came with this bunch of capacitors and an enter key, which is a bit random. Before I take it to pieces, let me just show you. So it looks in absolutely stunning condition. It really does. When you push the enter key, sometimes it jams down. So I guess that was part of the repair, but the person never got around to doing it and kind of gave up really. So I think so these screws feel as if they've never actually been opened before. They've got that click again. Interestingly, it does say there it's been upgraded according to that. What does that mean? Let's see if we can find out. So I mean, the 48K rubber key Spectrum is a classic design, but let's not dick around too much. The keyboard is crap. I mean, it is awful. If you actually want to type on the thing, it is pretty rubbish. There was one more screw, I think, which is that one there. Little countersunk job. Yep. Okay, that's it, I think. So there it is. Let's move it that way around. Interesting. Well, that looks pretty cool. It looks in great condition. It really does. So this has, essentially, it's the same as a ordinary ZX Spectrum, but it has a little addition there of a reset line, and I think the keyboard membrane is slightly different. Now, apparently, or I assume that doesn't work because that is a membrane, apparently. So that's interesting. Yeah, well, I'll have a look at that in a bit. But other than that, it actually looks in remarkably good condition. Let me get my glasses so I can have a closer look. What have we got then? Yeah, there's a few little modified bodge bars. You tend to find this on a lot of Spectrums where there's some modifications made at some point. Also, I noticed that there's that capacitor there at the back has been, shall we say, custom modified. Let me move that there. So if you can see that, that is not, doesn't look normal. It's like piggybacked on that resistor and that other capacitor. So it also seems to be a different model and different type. So maybe it was one of these that was actually put in place, although that seems to be sealed. Issue 2 parts. So that looks like it's a complete recap kit for the Spectrum Plus, which is a bit cool. Interesting. Oh, it's also got these things, which are little standoff jobs. Wow, that's really nice. Yeah, so the next step is to actually fire it up and see what I should have done that first, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to have a look inside. So yeah, I've got to fix that enter key. There was talk in the listing about a composite video mod, but I'm not sure whether that's been done or not. It came with the RF lead, and I have a feeling that actually that was not done. It was something that was going to be done, because that RF can there looks original, untouched, with the classic little bit of rust. That's normal. Yeah, the regulator it also has rust. It's weird. All these bloody Spectrums, they've always got rusty bolts on the regulators. It's so weird. Anyway, so far everything looks pucker. I just need to fire it up and see what happens. Cool. Right, okay, so let's have a go and see what is going on. This is the power supply. It looks in amazing condition as well. Oh, hey, well, not much to do there. That seems to work. The keyboard is definitely knackered, so there's nothing going on there. So it looks like the keyboard does need to be, the membrane does need to be replaced. That signal is terrible. But yeah, okay, so there's things to be done on this. Sort the enter key out, sort the keyboard membrane out, do some testing, see if I can load some software, and then after that, I'm not sure. Do I do the composite video mod? Do I recap it all? I don't know. That is a question. Let's get the basics done first and we'll see where we stand. Now it's time to take a look at the Spectrum Plus and what I hope is the keyboard membrane replacement. Be very careful how I use the scissors on this. Oh, careful which. Yeah. Okay. So as mentioned before, this kit turned up and it was a project which started but didn't continue. The person selling it sort of, well, I know what it's like, ran out of time. Couldn't find the time to do it, so hopefully I'll be able to put that to rights. Just put that to one side. There was also an issue with the enter key getting all snarled up. Sometimes it sticks, so there's a couple of things to do here. Now, we previously opened this up and had a look, and I'm going to discard the, careful. Oh, that's look at that, that's completely come off. It's actually still there. Wow, okay. So that really is not very well. Okay, that's that one there. And this one. Ooh, I'm going to have to get a small pair of pliers on that, see if I can persuade that to come out. It is coming out. Yeah, so it's no wonder that was broken. That was actually broken all the way along. Wow. Okay, well, there you go. It was never going to work. So let's put the bottom bit to one side. We don't need that at the moment. Now we've got even more flaming screws to deal with. Oh, it's always more screws. Ay, okay. I'm not sure I've got any spare pots. Nope, they've all got screws in. Oh dear, that's annoying. Right, let me use this out here. That'll do. So, I'll get these all out. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually look at the enter key itself. Bit of polystyrene there. That's odd. Also noticed in here that I didn't realise that it actually has these little retaining bits, which is actually quite good. I like that. Sort of gives it a bit more stability. Stops it floating around too much. So there's a back plate that comes off there. We can flick that. We've got to take the aforementioned retaining brackets off here. They are different sizes. It's pretty easy to do it, but I will just sort of line it up. Okay. So, yeah, the actual membrane itself looks in really good nick, but obviously this thing is completely gone. Now I wonder whether it's possible to actually reuse that by trimming it, but I'm not going to bother in this case because we've got a brand new one right there. So I might have a go and have a look another time. So that's actually stuck down. The rubber membrane bit, the rubber thing is stuck down. That's the enter key, the bottom of the enter key. Now this was a replacement provided in the kit. I don't quite know. So all these are free, but I don't quite know what the issue is with this. That's interesting. So does this... that actually comes off. Alright, so does that mean that the... so it looks like the actual key itself comes off from the front. So if I grab a little plastic spudger, can I... oh, I've got no plastic... where have my plastic spudgers gone? Here we go. Oh, I've got a key puller here, but I don't think that's going to work. No, there wasn't sufficient. It's an odd shape anyway. All right, let me see if there's one in here. Nope, I've really got to tidy this up. Look over here. No. That's annoying. Okay, well... I have to use my metallic one. I have to be careful with this, I don't want to damage anything. So if I push the key up from underneath, is it possible to yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, so that's the top of the key. The key itself is fine, but maybe... so what is it that's different about that one and that one? I've got to keep this separate. I don't know, it looks identical. So if I put that in place there, that's the old enter key. That's the new one, but it looks the same. We won't know until we put this rubber mat back in, because it's a rubber mat that provides the mechanical resistance that you need. So let's put that there as a useful little keyway there. Right, if I hold that like that, well, yeah, I suppose it, yeah, it does. I can't quite see what the difference is with this thing, but it's not sticking anymore. Okay, well, that's it's really weird. Okay, well, let's just take that as a positive, shall we? I'm not quite sure what I've done there, if anything, but there you go. Right. So that keyway also goes into there, which is very useful. So I am going to need, it's one thing I've had to use before, is I'm going to use these two trays here to act as a stand. Otherwise this gets pushed off, and that's no good. I noticed that one is definitely jammed down. I'm not sure I actually, in hindsight, like that too much, but It is what it is. Okay, I think what I've got to do is do this one first. We put the keyways in place, and we'll put the screws in, and we'll give it another little test. Now we've got it all properly put together. Ah, that's a lot better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, now this thing, I guess we just got to go for it. So which way round was it? I think it was that way round, yeah. Because you can look here, it's got these little two little ridges there, which are the grip ridges for it. I think what I'm going to do is pull it through a little bit and just give it a bit more distance there. That's better. So let me show you what I've just done. So I'm going to put the one screw in lightly and then the other screw, but I'm not going to do them up. And I'll just put my finger there and just draw it in a little bit. Just take some of the strain off it. Okay, that looks okay so far. So we'll bring in the case, bring in the bottom bit rather, yeah, the gubbins. There it is. And just lose these two back in there. Not sure what to do with this. It looks fine, but there's obviously an issue with it. It's to do with this, but I don't know. The button looks fine, but anyway, it is what it is. So we're going to go that way round. That's got to go back in there. Like all things weird in Spectrum, this side has the connector. Hang on, there's a bit of foreign matter in there. Let me just get rid of that. Not sure what that was. Yeah, so it has the connector that side, and the connector is that side, and then that one's got the connector on the other side. So yeah, same as the ordinary Spectrum. Have a bit of consistency. Okay, that's all now fully done. That's good. No, nothing missing in there. So we can turn that over. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna put in a few screws, not all the screws, because obviously we've got to test the thing. Yeah, so that one there is a countersunk screw, so that's a major screw there. So let's put that on. That's good. And there's a screw at the front here in the center, and then we'll put one on each side, and I think we'll just test it initially before we do all the rest of it up. Now what's interesting is that this essentially is just an ordinary Spectrum with a reset button on it. It did come with this capacitor kit, but it looks absolutely fantastic in there, and I really don't want to go hacking around. I mean, if it works, great. That's what's important, and I'm not sure there's much that can go catastrophically wrong with it. Famous last words, but I think we should be okay from that score. So really, it's just a case of plugging it in and see what happens. Picture's terrible, but I'm not worried about that. So that works. So if I now do a print, oh, I so struggle with this. Oh, there's the quotes there. Hello, quote there. Works perfect. Very nice. All right, so by the look of it, everything is absolutely lovely jubbly. Tell you what, this keyboard is a lot nicer to type on than the rubber key Spectrum. And I know that's probably heresy. You know, maybe you shouldn't say that. There's the reset. That's a really good thing. I love the reset. Yeah, maybe it's heresy to say it, but I actually really like the look of it. If you compare that with the QL, you know, they both got the same thing. Obviously, this has the basic code written on it. Fine, whatever. But you know, it's the same kind of thing. I like it. I know. I mean, look, I've got an Auric, so I know about dodgy keyboards. But this is better. Now the question is, do I just stick with this and abandon the rubber key Spectrum, basically sell that one, and stick with this one? The rubber key Spectrum is a classic, but don't really need it. And I think if I'm going to do Spectrum-y things, which I am, then I'll prefer to use this one. The idea is that the micro drive here, I need to get a interface 1, I think it's called, and then you can use this on there. Sadly, the format is different between QL and this, so there's no interop on it. But this is just a nicer design. I also love the fact that you've got these little legs that come out, which makes it a lot nicer. I mean, the angle now, you could almost, I mean, it sits very high off the desk, but you couldn't really touch type because it's not that good, but it's better. I really like it. I love the aesthetic of it. So yeah, that is the decision. This is looks like in perfect nick. I just have to make a decision as to what to do with the old 48K Spectrum, and also do I do a composite video mod, because I don't like, I mean, that's rubbish video quality. So that is the thing. Hang on a sec. Classic original Z81, my first machine. Obviously that's not a Sinclair part, but you have to have the 16K RAM pack because otherwise you can't do much. I've actually got somewhere, I've got I think I've got the original 16K actual Sinclair. I'm not sure. I'm gonna just quickly upgrade this with the oh god, it's just getting better. Right, okay, so yeah, so it's hit one. The Sinclair 48 is an iconic bit of design. I do love it. But there are millions of them around, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool, but the keyboard is naff. Let's be honest. Let's not mess around. It's a bit naff. Now the Plus, I never knew anyone who had the Plus back in the day, and I really like the design. Something about it just does it for me. It's obviously, looking at the QL design, it's a bit of an odd one, and then you've got the QL at the back, as I mentioned, but that's sort of a separate beast. Now this thing is the Plus 2. The keyboard is a lot better, and the keyboard there is fantastic. The Plus 3, brilliant machine, and the Sinclair 128, I think it had this same aesthetic, so there was like a transition between here to here. But oddly, the QL, which I think it was being designed at the same time as this or shortly afterwards, had the original design aesthetic, and it's a shame in many ways, because I quite like it from a novelty point of view, but this keyboard is so much better than that. So if this had been designed in this form factor, it would have been a lot better. It would have kicked ass. Obviously this has the tape drive on it. Yeah, the Plus 3 had the terrible 3-inch disc, but was it terrible compared to the micro drive? Probably not, let's be honest. I remember slagging off the 3-inch discs, but from my experiences of this thing recently, mate, forget it. So anyway, for your delight, a table full of Sinclair loveliness. If you like it, then you like it. If you don't like it, I can't help you. See you next time.